So today I'm going to show you how I made this card, and since we're going to be using a couple of extra tools, I kept it very simple. Hopefully I'll be able to have everything in my shot. This is a A2 size card, and to start out with we're going to pull out my Cuttlebug. Now in order for this to work I need to remove this paper so that my Cuttlebug can suction to my mat. I'm going to go ahead and set that right here. Let's make sure we're mostly in the shot. There we go. And to do this, we're going to start out with a couple of plates. I'm going to start out by doing some embossing. And to do that, you're going to want your A plate, B plate, B plate, and your embossing folder. To make your sandwich, you'll just take the piece that you're going to emboss and slip that inside your folder. I'm going to kind of go in the center there. Right about there looks good to me. And then again it's A plate, sorry, A plate, B plate, embossing folder in the middle, and another B plate on top. And once you've made your little sandwich, you can just go ahead and stick that through your Cuttlebug and roll it through. Just like that. And when you're finished, you'll have your embossed piece, which you can flip over and see that it's all embossed. Beautiful. And then while we're here, we're going to go ahead and do our other part, which is using our Spellbinders nestables, and this one's called Labels 4. If you flip it over, you'll see the pieces. And if you're starting as if 6 were the big one, 6, 5, 4, etc., I'm going to be using 5 and 4 today. So I'm not going to remove 4 because I've actually already done the piece that's done with the 4, but I just want to show you how I did it, so if you're curious, you'll know. So if you look inside your manual, the piece that comes with your nestabilities, it'll tell you exactly how to do it, so you can follow that if you've never used it with a Cuttlebug before. So to do the cutting part, you'll start out with an A plate, and then you're going to need a C, which you'll have to buy separately because they don't come with your Cuttlebug. So then your C plate, and then it says next is your Spellbinders die, and you want the die to face up, so this little ridge here should be facing up. And then the piece of paper you're going to cut, and I'm going to flip that over because I want the purple side to end up being embossed. So I've got that flipped over. And then next you'll need a B plate. Oops, as everything moves around. And then you'll put that into your machine. Should hear a noise, lets you know that it's cutting. So don't worry. Oops, down. And then you can remove it and you'll have your shape. And I'm actually just going to stick that right back inside. And then I'm going to remove my C plate because we don't need our C plate to do our embossing. Don't know if I'm in the shot here. Put my label back in on top of my A plate. Lift that up here so you can see. And then you'll go back to your directions for embossing, which gives you the embossing sandwich right here. You probably can't see it on screen, but you need your A plate, your die, 1 tan embossing mat. And this is what the embossing mats look like before you open them. And I just picked these up at Hobby Lobby. I'm so excited. We have one in Everett, so that's the nearest one to my home, so I'm excited. But this is what it looks like when you open it. It's just this little tan rubbery mat, and that'll go on top first. And then after that, you're going to need a couple of pieces of cardstock. And I've just grabbed 3 here. And then after that, to complete your sandwich, you need 2 B plates. So I'll grab my 2 B plates, stick those in, and then we'll just go ahead and roll this through. And once you've done that, remove our mat. You end up with your embossed piece, which hopefully you can see. So now that we have those pieces, we can put our Cuttlebug to the side. I'm going to put my gray piece of cardstock back so I don't drive you crazy with all the little lines on my mat. So now that we've done that, we have these 2 pieces, and then the same way. is how I cut out my little sentiment, which says, "Heaven isn't far when you're with the ones you love." So to put our card together, we need a standard A2 size card. And I'm going to go ahead and fold that. I didn't list all of my measurements when I was making this card, so I'll just put them below when I edit my card for you, so you'll be able to see the sizes that I'm using. And the paper that I'm using today comes from the Echo Park Springtime pack, and it's a 6x6 pack. Cute, cute, springy paper. So I'm going to use this little piece here to go up here. And before I attach this together, I'm going to kind of line up my embossed piece on the bottom. I put a little piece of sticky strip on the back. I wanted to create one piece to wrap some ribbon around. So once I've lined it up at the bottom, line my top piece up. And we've created one piece. Oops, that looks a little crooked to me. Oh, I'm gonna have to live with it. No. Oh. I don't know if you're a perfectionist, but I am a perfectionist. But where I've ruined that, it's gonna be just fine. We're just gonna go with it. Learn from my mistakes and do better than me. Let's line that up here. First way was the best way. Isn't that wonderful for posterity to see how goofy I am when I'm making a card? All lined up and pretty. Okay. So once we've got our piece together, that was really painful, wasn't it, to watch? To get it all straightened out, but that's how I want it. Then I'm going to take some ribbon, and this is just some Stampin' Up. I think it's like Pear Pizzazz or something. I've just barely started using a little bit of the Stampin' Up products, and I have to tell you, I'm not really sure what I think, because when I used one of the stamps, I just kind of felt like, I mean the stamp pads, you know, I felt like my image just wasn't very good, and I was using it right on Stampin' Up paper, so I'm gonna have to experiment a little bit more, but to tell you the truth, I just wasn't really impressed first time around. So like I said, I'm gonna have to do a little bit more work to see what I think. I've kind of stayed away from Stampin' Up and Paper Tray Ink, any of the clubs, because I wasn't really sure. You know, I like my coupons. I like to know that I can get my 40% off, you know. So once you've done that, we can go ahead and adhere this to our card. Grab my ATG gun. Hopefully I'm staying in the screen. And then we can line up our piece. About there. And then I want this to have my points just a little bit below my ribbon, I think. I'll go ahead and do that piece. That looks good. And then I have a little bow that I've made, and I'm just going to use some glue dots to put that on. And you can certainly just tie it under, you don't have to do a bow, just every once in a while it's fun to do a bow. Push that on. And then my little sentiment I've stuck some pop dots on the back of. Heaven isn't far when you're with the ones you love. It's actually from a song I sang as a kid, so you may not have ever heard it. It's an oldie. In fact, I'm not even sure who wrote it. But I'll sing it for you at the end, and then you can, that way you can decide if you don't want to listen to it. You can just fast forward it. Okay, so that looks good to me. Let me double check that I like that. And then to embellish the bottom, I just used some faux pearls, and I stuck a lot of these on here, so I don't want to really waste your time sticking them on. Let me just stick one on so you can kind of see what I used. And then we'll just come back to our main image. So you can see what I did. Just filled it with the cute little pearls. So heaven isn't far when you're with the ones you love. And okay, I'm gonna sing the song really fast. Doing it at the end so you can, you know, stop it if you want to. Just so you know where my inspiration came from. So this is how it goes. Where is heaven? Is it very far? I would like to know if it's beyond the brightest star. I've a feeling that it's not that far. When you're with the ones you love, it's right where you are. When you're with the ones you love, it's right where you are. So thanks for watching. Hope you have a good Saturday. Bye.